A blind masseur arrived at a wealthy man's home to provide a massage service. Suddenly, the masseur froze. He heard the sound of someone picking a lock outside the door. Before the wealthy man could react, a group of robbers burst through the door. They rushed in and kicked the wealthy man to the ground, then grabbed him and threatened him to open his safe. Seeing that there were many robbers, the wealthy man had no choice but to comply. But the wealthy man was clever. He deliberately pressed the wrong fingerprint, triggering the safe's automatic alarm system. He then quickly grabbed an electric baton nearby. This action completely enraged the gang leader. The robber immediately pulled out a gun and killed the wealthy man. Then they dragged the body over to open the safe with his fingerprint. The blind masseur, witnessing this scene, was terrified. To verify whether the masseur was actually blind, the gang leader picked up a nearby candlestick and thrust it toward the masseur's face. When the masseur didn't even blink, the leader was convinced he was truly blind and decided to spare him. Unexpectedly, just as the robbers were leaving with the money, two police cars suddenly appeared and pursued them from behind. A high-speed chase quickly ensued. When the police reached a fork in the road, the robber's car had vanished. They only saw a young boy who had fallen to the ground. The police believed the robbers had taken that particular road and accelerated in pursuit. What they didn't know was that this was all part of the robbers' plan. The boy was actually the gang leader's godson. Soon the blind masseur was taken to the police station to avoid trouble from the robbers. He claimed he hadn't seen anything. However, one officer found something suspicious about him and decided to test whether the masseur was actually blind. The officer pulled out a lighter and aimed it at the masseur's eyes. This frightened the masseur, who trembled uncontrollably, afraid the officer would discover his secret. Although the masseur thought the police would let him go afterward, they used a psychological tactic instead. They falsely claimed that if he didn't admit he was pretending to be blind, they would expose his deception to the public. Realizing that if the robbers discovered he was faking blindness, they would surely seek revenge. The masseur, fearing for his life, had no choice but to confess what had happened. He explained that he had gone to the wealthy man's house for a massage appointment when a group of robbers suddenly broke in. To open the safe, they killed the wealthy man because he pretended to be truly blind. The robbers spared him. The masseur thought that confessing would resolve the situation, but unexpectedly, an officer outside pulled out his phone and informed the gang leader about this development. When the gang leader learned of this betrayal, he immediately took his underlings to an arsenal, where they retrieved a sniper rifle. They then positioned themselves in an abandoned building that overlooked the police station entrance. The robbers planned to kill the masseur as soon as he emerged, to toughen up the boy's resolve. The gang leader assigned this task to his godson. Soon, the police brought the masseur out, but the boy was too frightened to pull the trigger. Thus, the masseur was placed in a police vehicle. The masseur thought he was safe now, but soon he noticed something wasn't right. They weren't heading toward his home. The original driver had been replaced by one of the robbers. Terrified, he desperately tried to open the door to escape, but discovered it was already broken. The robbers took him to a tunnel under a bridge. As another robber got into the car, the masseur was soon brought before the gang leader. After a brutal beating, the masseur ultimately met his tragic end.